بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه أجمعين. This is the eighth meeting of the Bunyaan project, and Brother Ahmed, go ahead and start us off.
Okay, Jazakallah khair, Imam. So, inshallah, I'll start with reviewing some of the actions we had from our last meeting. And that was 2 weeks ago for anybody who's watching this video. So last week, there wasn't too much going on. There weren't too many actions, rather. We had reviewed a lot of the code updates that were made, a lot on the back end. Alhamdulillah, you had closed out a lot of those action items to complete the back end of this software, this framework, this application. So things that were our actions from last week. I had down that you were going to actually work to update, Imam, the white paper regarding the different use cases, like liquidity caps. And then as a group, we were going to be reading and becoming more familiar with the different blockchains and trying to put some information together regarding which would be the best to use. We kind of talked about pros and cons of using an established blockchain versus creating one of our own. And in that video, if for anybody who watches, kind of concluded that would be best to go with an existing blockchain. So those were the two main action items. I do know that there was some work that Brother Bakari worked on regarding outreach and media for us to work to roll this out to the community locally or at large for people who want to help support the development, or who want to support in other means to help further this effort. So I guess maybe we could talk about those two actions before we go to the actual project and get to look at the issues for the code. So the first, I guess I'll just ask you, Imam, about the white paper regarding the different updating and regarding different use cases.
Yes, so regarding the actual completion of the white paper, unfortunately, due to some other commitments, some related to Al-Kalam Institute and some related to some work-related stuff, I wasn't able to complete it. However, I have an update which relates to the white paper, and I think we should try to figure this out before we go ahead and complete the white paper as well. Or perhaps we can keep this as an open issue for the time being. So, and that is the challenges of going with an existing solution. I think one of the other action items on me was to analyze the different aspects of existing or established, blockchain solutions that would allow us to implement our app, so to speak, and basically the challenges, the limitations when it comes to Shari'a compliant nature of some of these established blockchains. And basically something that I went over was, if you guys remember, I had written an article on cryptocurrency, and there's a section in that article in which I break down what cryptocurrency is. And basically, so what I did is I looked at the different building blocks of cryptocurrency, and tried to figure out which building blocks are problematic. And obviously, when we talk about blockchain doesn't necessarily map to cryptocurrency one-to-one. Blockchain is just a technology that cryptocurrency uses. right? It's a core technology that cryptocurrency uses, but it's not cryptocurrency is not, or for example, Bitcoin is not the only use case of blockchain, right? So you have DeFi, decentralized finance, and yeah, you can have smart contracts. But one thing you can't get away from is the digital money aspect of it, right? So if you're gonna have a DeFi system, the transactions need to be through digital money. It can, obviously it's going to be on a network, and you can't exchange real money on a network, right? That has to be digital money. And the complications that the challenges that introduces when it comes to the existing established solutions is that not only are the digital money in, for example, Ethereum or Bitcoin, not only is it digital money, but it has become an investment asset, and the price fluctuates, right? It goes up and down. And that's something we wanted to avoid, because as I said, we take the with everything that we do, we try to take the stricter position, so that we, as we accommodate the lowest common denominator, or we accommodate everyone, so to speak. So here, there are two camps. One camp that says it's permissible, it's permissible to purchase cryptocurrency, and it's another camp that says it's not permissible. And I, personally, based on my research, due to the gharar, the gamble, and the volatility that exists, um, uh, based on a hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in which Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu says, "Nahan Nabiy sallallahu alaihi wasallam an bay al-gharar." I strongly take the position that purchasing cryptocurrency is not permissible from a Sharia stance. But not any cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency that is not has become an investment asset, and it fluctuates. It's not backed by. It's not. It doesn't have a one-to-one relationship with any of the other currencies, or gold. For example, if you had digital, for example, the digital money that credit card systems use, right? $1 maps to one real dollar, right? Or is supposed to, right? So, for example, or let me give a better example. So, a debit card, right? A debit card that has absolutely no interest attached to it. $1 that you put in your bank, and you're able to buy and purchase things with it, that maps to $1 in the real world, right? Even though it's digital money when you're purchasing things online, but it maps to one single dollar. So if we the the solution that we want is, because we're not in the business of making money out of money, right? The goal of the project or the solution is not to for someone to put in to purchase one dinar on our blockchain and get 10 times their investment, right? If, by from investing in the money itself, right? The purpose of the solution is for someone to invest in a house and get rent from the person who buys the house, right? That's how the person who invests will profit, not necessarily from the increase and the decrease of the value of the currency, the digital currency. So basically, the digital currency that we want is kind of like the debit card digital currency, right? It's one to the dollar, right? We don't want, it's never going to go up based on how many people invest in the blockchain, and go down based on how many people don't invest in it. So it's not going to fluctuate like that. So that's something that the current major like the blockchain solutions like Ethereum, that's not the case with Ethereum, right? You purchase Ethereum, and it's not a one-to-one to the dollar, right? It goes up and down. So you may lose money by purchasing Ethereum, and you may make money. Same thing with Bitcoin. So that's one of the challenge. Another challenge that with the current established solutions that we didn't talk about last time. Uh,
Mhm.
I believe so far the only thing we've been discussing is the fact that the consensus mechanism may be not Sharia compliant, which is true, right? For example, proof of stake is not, and proof of work is. So that's one component, one building block of a blockchain solution that may or may not be Sharia compliant, but also the digital money itself, you know, exchanging that digital money itself. That's another component that we need to consider. Is it stable coin? Is it pegged, or is it electrical signal on a memory card that's not backed by a real dollar, or by real any other currency, right? Or by gold or by silver. So that's another aspect that we need to consider, and that kind of limits us, right? That adds another limitation to what we can use and what we cannot use, because as you guys all know, most of the cryptocurrencies and DeFi solutions, the DeFi networks right now are based on a cryptocurrency that is not pegged, right? It's not stable coin. That's and people are investing in, and it goes up and down. Ethereum is the biggest example I can think of. So so basically, when we do our research, that's something else we need to consider. So the other component of a blockchain network would be cryptography. Cryptography. And that's there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a security mechanism, which actually adds value. It's in line with the maqasid of Sharia. One of the end goals of Sharia is the protection of people's wealth, and cryptography is actually a mechanism that allows for that. All right. The peer-to-peer network aspect of it, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. For peers to be able to help each other out, and lend money to each other. So these are the main, right? These are the main components: the digital money aspect of it, the cryptography aspect of it, the fact that it's a blockchain that has different nodes, the fact that it's a proof of work, and the fact that it's peer-to-peer network, right? So the only these are the main components. Obviously, we can go get into the nitty and gritty, like the details of it, but these are the main components. And from these components, two of these components may or may not be Sharia compliant. The first one is the actual digital money. Does it map to actual money? Is it backed by the dollar? Is it one-to-one, like the digital money we use when we use our debit card? Or is it like something like Bitcoin or Ethereum, where the value of it, the value of one coin goes up and down, when mapped to fiat money, right? So so we need to take that into consideration. And the second component of it that we need to take into consideration, or research, is the proof of work. Is it Sharia compliant, right? Um, so these are the two things that we need to keep in uh, you know uh, keep under the radar, so to speak. But again, as we do more research, we may learn more about the existing solutions that may be some aspects, some other aspects that may be problematic. At which point we'll add them to our list. So, but I think that's the general overview of it for now. Does that make sense, everyone?
Yeah, Jazakallah khair. That does, and yeah, you folded that in, into the that second action, which was the research into the
Yeah.
existing blockchain. So Jazakallah khair. Yeah, no, Brother
Oh, yeah.
Bakr, Brother Abdul Wahid, if you guys have anything else to input.
No, I think I'm good. Yeah, I was also researching a bit on proof of stake and proof of work. And
Hmm.
proof of stake is is more on the selecting a few individual. It's a little complicated, I guess.
Mm,
Right. Whereas proof of work,
mm,
it's straightforward a math expression that yeah, it calculates before it locks the block.
mhm.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
proof of work is, yeah, that's true. Proof of work is just work being done. Based on the work, you get rewards.
Correct.
Proof
Mhm.
of stake is slightly different. Brother Abu Bakr, you wanted to mention something?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention the part where it says for the lenders about the rent proposals. How does that one uh, that part work? Do they know beforehand what the rent proposal are going to be? Like just that part,
The
I'm confused about.
the property the property proposals, you mean?
Yeah. So basically, one of the user stories we have is says I want to be able to propose a rent amount for the percentage of the house owned by lenders so that the network finds lenders whose rent proposals are based on the percentage that adds up to my requested rent amount. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's a good question. That's something actually we discussed one of the other calls, and we need to update that section. The rent actually is not proposed anymore. The rent will be determined by one of these APIs that gives uh, the fair value of the property. But when it comes to rent, for example, Zillow will give you what's the fair rent for each property, right? So we can use their API, and I think there are other APIs we can use as well. So that's how we're going to determine the rent. The rent will not be determined by the lenders or the borrower.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
That makes more sense. Thanks for the
yeah,
clarification.
no problem. Good question. Jazakallah khairan.
Yeah.
So, brother Abu Bakr has made a really nice promo video that I really liked. I was hoping maybe he could share it so we could all watch it. And also, we wanted to talk about the logo of Bunyaan. Obviously, it's not gonna be the logo of Al-Kalam Institute because Al-Kalam is the parent institution, and it's gonna do so many other things. So we were hoping to come up with like religious a logo that ties back to the hadith that you mentioned that actually became the motivation behind this project. So that maybe we could watch the video first, and then we can talk about the logo. Brother Abu Bakr, you mind sharing your screen and playing the video?
Yeah, definitely. Give me 1 second. Let me know when you guys can see my screen.
Okay.
And also, just to note, this is just a draft.
This is the first draft, yeah.
Are
But
you a
still, we
Muslim
wanted.
looking to purchase a house in the West?
We can't see your screen yet, Brother Abu Bakr.
Or you guys can see it?
No.
No, not yet.
How about now?
No.
No.
Give me 1 second. I need to restart the meeting so I can share. Give me one moment.
Okay. Okay. I think Brother Almighty just texted me. Let's see.
Yeah, I think he got some last minute
Oh
meeting.
yeah. Let's see.
So, brother Ahmed, I think I saw you last week when I was at TCIC for Juma prayer. When I wanted to meet you, but after I finished my sunnah, I didn't find you.
Mashallah. And I'll make sure to look around and look around my surroundings on Friday, inshallah.
Inshallah. But I'm not sure if I'll be there this Friday.
Okay.
I'll let you
What
know.
area? Okay. Okay, inshallah.
And I was with TCIC folks on Saturday as well playing volleyball. I'm not sure if you play volleyball or not.
Not really, but I should start getting involved. It's any physical activity is a good activity.
Yeah. Well, volleyball, I think anybody can start playing. I guess you don't need any training as such. I would guess
Yeah.
because I used to play when I was in school.
And, brother Abdul Wahid, just wanted to remind you that this is recorded. I'm not sure if you.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that.
That's all good. I just wanted. It's okay. I don't mind. I just wanted to remind you in case you didn't want to talk about this while it's being recorded. But it's fine with me.
Mhm.
Cool.
My screen now?
Yeah, we can see your screen now. Yeah.
All right, perfect. I'm gonna play the video. Just to,
Yeah.
This just a first draft, so please let me know what you guys think. So I'll start. Bismillah. Are you a Muslim and looking to purchase a house in the West? One of the greatest challenges Muslims face in doing so is being able to purchase that house without dealing with riba or interest. Many attempts have been made to provide a completely riba-free financial model, but the majority of Islamic banks are still tied to the current financial system, which is built on usury. Many alternatives are also owned by private companies in which decisions are motivated by profits. Introducing Bunyaan, a Musharaha-based peer-to-peer lending system on blockchain. Founded by Al-Kalam Institute and a part of the Developers on the Path initiative. This open source solution will allow Muslims to invest in their future while avoiding riba and contributing to a divine cause. Learn more at alkalam.org. Alright, that is the video. So, inshallah, whatever you guys' thoughts are for editing, and Imam Suhail, he already mentioned, we want to incorporate the logo for the project, but that's after we design it, inshallah.
Yeah, mashallah. I think this is a good start. I like the video.
Yeah, I like it too.
Yeah, no, so even
Yeah, it's a
the
nice
script
video, mashallah.
it's well worded.
Yep.
Yeah. Brother Abu Bakr was saying, we should put your voice. I was like, the voice, even the voice is perfect. Like everything like was going so well together. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
mashallah.
mashallah, may Allah Azza wa Jalla reward him.
I mean,
I do want to add something to the script. And I know the script was also motivated by the one-pager and by the tech spec. But I was I was thinking maybe we should add that there are also many Islamic institutions who are limited by their investors, even though they are not directly tied to the secondary market, which is basically the interest market. Or they have very good intentions as well. So there are a few of them, but their limitation is the investors that they have. They don't have that many investors, so they're able to only work in specific markets. So maybe we could add because this particular solution solves that problem as well, right? It gives it gives the opportunity to everyone pretty much to invest, even if it's $1, right? And imagine like a million people each investing, $100, right? That's gonna be a lot of money, and we are like 2 billion people almost as Muslims. So I think that's kind of solved the limitation that a lot of the those institutions have, the investment problem. So I was thinking maybe we should add that section to the end of the video. Like we talk about the two different types of institutions, and we can add this third type as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I added.
Yeah.
I think one of the limitation is with the wait list as well. So, say for example, if
Yeah.
I want to buy a home with the with the institute that is in Bay Area, I don't remember the name,
Mhm.
but yeah, you need to first register with them and be in the wait list.
Mhm.
And
So.
usually the time you become current is like 2 or 3 months, and
Mhm.
then and that is not like confirmed as well. So
Mhm.
you can get current with 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. So
Mhm.
there is some uncertainty there, and once you become current, they give limited time for you to look for the properties and uh, lock in, right? So
Yeah.
that's
So
the
I think so. That's exactly the waiting list, and I think that limitation ties back to the budget and the investors. So if they had unlimited budget, there wouldn't be a waiting list, right? The reason there is a waiting list is because they're waiting for their budget to be like refilled, so to speak. So they're able to
Mhm.
loan money or lend money. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
it all goes back to investors. I believe if there are enough, if there are waves of investors coming in every month, every week, every day, I think the waiting list will be, that waiting problem will also be solved. But yeah, so we can add that as well. Because of the limited budget and investors, there is also a waiting list where it becomes kind of tedious for people to wait and wait for something that's not even 100% right.
Okay. I'll add those information to the script.
Also, is this? I assume this is international, right? There's no specific market, right? Or is this
Yeah.
limited?
So I think we would have to like look at the legal aspect of it. Um, um, and I believe Brother Omer has more info on this. He could share on our next call. He said he won't be able to make it today. He had a last minute excuse me. He had a last minute meeting. So but we would have to, for the time being, I think we can just limit it to the US. But if there are no obstacles that are preventing us, I think we can make it international. Um, and I don't foresee any obstacles or challenges, but just in case. But so I think the investment part will be international,
Mm.
but the purchasing part, because for the purchasing part, we need to know like the rules and regulations of each country and how property is bought and sold. Uh, and that's gonna, we're only in the US, and that's all we can, most of us are gonna know, unless we start having people in different countries. So for the actual purchasing part and borrowing, I think we'll limit it to the US, and and perhaps once we know more about other countries, we can expand it. So the investment and the lending will be international, but the purchasing and the borrowing will be limited to the US.
Okay, doing a lot for the clarification.
No problem. Jazakumullah khairan. So regarding the logo, how do you guys want the logo to look like for Bunyan? Um, any suggestions? Anyone good at making logos?
Um, be honest, that good with designing specifically, but like with the hadith that you mentioned earlier, like I could see
Yeah,
the letters like each being shaped as a pillar, and
yeah,
supporting each other, like
yeah,
something like that. I
yeah,
don't know if you're
exactly.
something like that, and then
Yeah,
interconnecting.
that's what I was thinking too. Like, we can combine the two. For like, have a brick, have a building that is made up of bricks, and then like a wall, and then kind of tie them with kind of a network as well. So that's essentially how it is. It's a peer-to-peer lending network. So it's a wall, but it's a digital wall of of different peers helping each other out. Um, I think that's gonna look nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, inshallah, we can look into that more. I'll start trying to trying to see if I know anyone who could do the design for us, and then we can take it from there. But I believe for today, those were all the all the updates I had. I I do want to mention that based on the latest my latest findings regarding the other limitation with established blockchain networks. Uh, if we do go the route of creating a blockchain ourselves, we need to start looking for a blockchain expert, um, and have them on board. Now, this introduces a challenge because most people, may most people may not want to contribute if they don't if they're not getting uh, paid. So we need that makes our job a bit hard, especially if they're an expert, right? They're not, it's kind of even if they're unless unless they really want to, they see the problem the way we see it, and they really want to do something for the may Allah Azza wa Jal make all of our intentions sincere for him, and if they really want to do it for the sake of Allah, right? But that's going to be hard to find, so that's why if you know anyone in your networks that that are that they may be blockchain experts, please let them know and see if they want to start helping out with this project. Yeah, but I don't think it would be wise for us to go any further if we are going to create our own blockchain uh, until we have an expert on board, so they can, because they're gonna foresee some of the challenges that we're gonna have in the future, depending on what approach we take when building the blockchain, and they can tell us from the beginning instead of us like spending a year building a blockchain and then finding out, hey, this was insufficient, or this was incorrect, or that was incomplete. So, but I believe like we have a good proof of concept, and maybe based on what we have, people will get a good understanding of how the end result is going to look like. So we have taken that care of that part. We just need to, once we actually move this from POC to actually implementation, and for the staging and then production, then we definitely need we need some experts to be on board. Uh, yeah, so that's something I think we need to start thinking about. And I was thinking to I was thinking about just doing presenting everything on a live stream on YouTube, instead of going to setting up something in a masjid. Even though I do see value in this, and advertising it and masajid, I don't think uh, I don't feel like the masajid will see an immediate value uh, in us doing it in their masajid. Just based on my conversations and some of the some of the some of the things I've observed. I am not sure if we can get that, but I'll go ahead. I'll still go ahead and reach out to one of the brothers, or some of the masajid, to see if we can actually go to the masjid. But if not, we can do a live stream, right? And this is from my perspective, it's beneficial from multiple perspectives, right? The first perspective is, it's a good solution. I mean, if you're able to implement it, it's definitely a very good solution. And the second one is for the young youth who are pursuing careers in tech and computer science, and for the youth who just want to who is still deciding, it'll be very and just people in general, it will be very useful for them to see that they can use something that may not necessarily be directly related, or they may not necessarily think it's directly related to religion. They can use it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a means of encouragement for different people to start using their expertise in different fields, start thinking about how they can use those expertise to serve the community. So there are many different components, many different benefits, but I am not sure if everyone sees eye to eye with us. And I think it's going to take some time before we can foster that mentality, where it becomes value is seen in these initiatives by the whole community. So yeah, but inshallah we'll continue trying. But just wanted to let you know we may do this in a live stream instead of masjid. If we cannot have arrange anything, we'll do a live stream, and then we'll advertise it to different platforms, inshallah, for people to join. And then we'll set it up beforehand. We'll who's going to talk about what, and then we're going to have like a schedule, like a plan of what we're going to discuss and what we're going to demonstrate, and then we'll go from there, inshallah.
Okay, that sounds good.
Good to meet you.
Sounds good. Okay, inshallah, that's all. Those are all the updates that I have. Do you guys have any updates?
I have one question for Brother Abdul Wahid, but I can say that till if anyone else has questions. Okay. I don't know if we discussed it during the last meeting, but I had seen that Brother Abdul Wahid, you had, I guess, and I'm not familiar with it, so I'm looking to understand it a bit better. When you said and what's the phrasing about containerize the app? I'm not too familiar with what that is. Maybe anybody else who was watching heard that and wasn't too familiar with it.
Oh, yeah. So that's one way of running the application. So it's recent. I wouldn't say recent. It's been there for a while. So what containers are basically, you can install all the software in it, package it, and it's portable. It can run on any operating system. So it's independent of operating system, right? So one of the challenge we faced when we were running this software is you were on Windows, I was on Mac, right? And we had to install different dependencies based on the operating system we were running. So what containers helps with is all the packages that is required to run a software will be pre-installed, and you can create a container image based out of it, and that image can be run as container on any platform independent of operating system, right? So uh, uh, you need to install Docker. It's a it's a platform where you run the containers.
Hmm.
We have Docker, and there are other bunch of softwares that you can use. But the most popular is Docker, which is basically a hypervisor uh, that sits on top of your operating system, and containers are managed on that hypervisor. So it's basically. Have you heard about virtual machine?
I haven't.
Yeah. So virtual machine is a concept of splitting a big machine into multiple chunks. So say you have a big machine with 16 CPU cores and 256 GB of memory. You
Hmm.
can split this big machine into a smaller ones. Uh, and for that as well, you need a hypervisor installed on the operating system that manages all the virtual machines. So same way, uh,
Okay.
Docker is a hypervisor for all the containers running on top of it.
Okay.
And there is another. If you have many containers, it becomes difficult to manage them, right? So uh, that's how Kubernetes was introduced. So it's basically a container orchestration tool. I'm sure you might have heard about Kubernetes before.
I've seen like videos pop up whenever I'm on YouTube, like
Yeah,
what are they? I never really clicked because it was above my pay grade, but I guess
yeah,
that
it's the
yeah,
most.
you help me understand it a little bit more.
All right, yeah. So it's the most popular orchestration technology these days, and the entire tech industry is moving from running the servers to running containers.
Because you can essentially partition.
So yeah, so in the repo, I have put the instructions on how to run it. Uh, I have pushed the image to Docker Hub. Uh, Sheikh Sohail, uh, I'm not sure. It's public right now. You want me to like put it as is or just remove that?
No, I think it's fine. I mean, it's open source, so everything can be public. So
Yeah, so it's public in Docker Hub, so anybody can download it if they have the URL.
sounds good.
Okay, jazakallah khair.
Jazakallah khairan for all that work, brother Abdul Wahid. Really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Um,
why you?
Yeah, I have one question about I got a task assigned to me by my brother Abdi, and where it's like the incorporation of the escrows, title transfers, and then the other real estate items.
Hmm.
Looking back on our tech specs, we were deciding between using a service already that has that incorporated prop I or using Oracle's. Did we decide between either of those, or do you want me to look into prop I more to see like the for the to do is to see if we have to implement their smart contracts onto our blockchain or whether we could make our own smart contract blockchain. So what do you want me to
I
do
th-
on that one?
so I think it's a good question. I think brother Umair, one of his action items was to call Prapai, and I believe he may have. But unfortunately, because of his last minute meeting, he's not able to make it today. So we can wait for him until next week to give us an update on that. But I think maybe we could change that task because I believe at the time Brother Umair was already kind of looking into it, and we were not aware of it before we assigned it to you. So I think we can keep it, or we can change the task owner to Brother Umair. That would may make more sense.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, but yeah, so inshallah, you, Brother Abu Bakr, if you could, concentrate on, we can discuss this more. There may be other things we can do from the marketing aspect of things, as it relates to different platforms and different ways. We can use your expertise, inshallah. I feel like we're kind of not using you to your full potential. We don't want to overburden you, but at the same time, I feel like there's a lot you could offer to this project. So inshallah, we can discuss this more, and then
Yeah, definitely, inshallah, I can help out.
inshallah. Any more questions?
Nothing for me. Jazakallah khair.
So inshallah, if there are no more questions, we can end the recording. And inshallah, next week I may have to change the day of the meeting, or if you guys want, you can always hold the meeting in case I'm not able to make it, but it's up to you guys. Inshallah, we'll communicate over our WhatsApp channel. But for the time being, inshallah, we can just complete our action items and resume in our next call, like next week, most likely next week, inshallah.
Inshallah.
inshallah. جزاكم الله خيرا. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.